When I'm evaluating a short term rental, I run five numbers every single time. Cash flow is the one most people start with, and it certainly matters, but it's only one piece of the picture. There are four other numbers that I look at that tell me whether a property is really going to build wealth for me over time, not just produce income today. And one of them is my favorite metric of all. I'm such a math geek. It's the one that really helps me see whether my money is working as hard as it could be. My background is engineering, operations, and even financial modeling. So when I started investing in short-term rentals, I naturally approached it the same way I approached everything else. I have four properties now, and they've grown 15 to 20% in revenues every single year since I've started. These five numbers are the foundation of how I evaluate every deal before I buy and every year I own. Let me walk you through all five. These five metrics answer three really important questions for me. Will the property pay for itself? Will it grow my net worth over time? And is it a better use of my money than other options, like the stock market? If you can answer those three questions clearly, you're in a very strong position as an investor. So let's get into them. Metric number one is cash flow. That's the one that most investors know really well. And of course, it really matters because at the most basic level, it's the money left over. Your income comes in, your expenses go out. And for a short-term rental, that means revenue minus operating expenses, minus your mortgage if you have one, minus the normal costs of running the property. So cash flow tells you whether the property is supporting itself today. Can it pay the bills? Can it create income? That matters because I want every property to function as a business. But I don't stop there because cash flow is only one piece of the return. Metric number two that I look at is added equity. That one's really important to me. This is growth in your ownership position in the property over time. That can come from a couple of different places. It can come from appreciation in the market. It can also come from improvements that increase value, a rehab, an upgrade, anything that adds value to an asset. Real estate isn't just an income play, it's also a wealth building tool. So I want to know not only what the property is paying me now, but also what it's going to help me build over time. The third metric I look at closely is yearly earnings. And this isn't one that people talk about very often, but yearly earnings is where I bring those pieces together. It includes that cash flow that we already talked about, appreciation that we just talked about, and mortgage paydown. Let's not forget that one. So those are the three pieces that I track on my spreadsheet every year. I want to look at the property and see what it did for me this year. Not just in income, but in total wealth creation. Now, it's not all money that I'm going to get a check for every month, but I love this metric because it gives a more complete annual picture. I mean, for me, for example, I've left my W-2, so I want to see how it compares to what I was making there. Cash flow alone can hide the fact that a property is also growing your equity every single month. The fourth metric I look at is exit value. And this is one that I think is really important as well, and one that I don't hear talked about nearly enough. Exit value is the amount of money that I would walk away with if I sold the property after selling costs and after paying off what I still owe. So this matters more than people realize because you need to be able to make decisions at any time. A property isn't just a monthly income stream, it's an asset. And part of understanding an asset is understanding what it's worth to you when you exit. Metric number five that I look at is the annualized rate of return, my favorite one. This is the one I told you about at the start, the annualized rate of return. Cumulative earnings divided by cash invested divided by years invested. This is the number that pulls everything together for me. It takes the full benefit of the investment over time. It includes cash flow, equity growth, mortgage paydown, and long-term value, and that's why I love it so much. It gives me a fuller picture than any other one metric on its own, and it lets me compare a property directly to the stock market very simply in today's numbers. Annualized return is the wider lens. Cash on cash tells a part of the story. Annualized return tells me the whole story. This matters most to me because I'm a long-term investor, so I don't just want to know what a property is going to do this year. I want to know what it's going to do for me in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So this is something that I can track over time on a curve. Is it paying for itself? Is it growing my net worth? Is it a strong use of my capital compared to other options? And will it be in several years from now? Should I sell it and invest somewhere else? How long should I keep it? These are the questions that I really care about, and these 5 metrics help me answer them now and in the future. This is also how I track my properties year after year. I don't just use these numbers when I'm buying. I put my actuals in every month because better tracking leads to better decisions. These are the 5 numbers that I run on every property before I buy and every year I own. If you'd like the actual financial model that I built to track all 5, what I call the profit planner, it's available at strjumpstart.com. Or if you want the full system, including how I pick markets and how I run the operations, that's the STR Jumpstart Masterclass, same site. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week.